Hello, Liz here with another craft, and if you like this video craft tutorial, please sprinkle the love so that others can see it and enjoy it. And if you make anything using my videos, please post it on my Liz's craft page. I would love to see any of the items that you all make from the videos. So we're going to take this United States cutout. I got it from Hobby Lobby. I think it was 80% off, and it was $5.99, so whatever that makes it. And we're going to use this stencil here, which is in the 12 by 18 inch section. We're going to use the HME, and we're going to put this welcome in there. And I thought this looked kind of Texan since we're from Texas. I really like that. So this is going to be the O. And along with those, you get these here. You get this. And you get this here, and it says Farm Life. I'm going to set those aside, and we're going to get started. I'm going to cut my price tag off. I'm going to take the hanger off, and we'll put it back on afterwards. And do you see how the hanger is going this way? I find that on my walls, this doesn't work well. It works better if the knots are in front. So when I put it back on, I'm going to put the knots in the front. So, like I said, I'm just taking this off right now. And even though this is a great saying, home of the free because of the brave, that is very true. It's just, it looks more 4th of July, and I want to make it more of a homey sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint it with this matte acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. It's just white. And I just have this old brush that I love. And I'm just going to squirt it on here. So I just squirted it on there, and then I'm just going to paint it all over. Now I'm also going to use the black on top of this white, and then we'll use our sanding block for a different kind of effect. It's just something that I came across one day when I was trying to paint something white, and it just kept showing through, so I put black on top of it, and then I used my sanding block, and I just liked the way that it turned out. It kind of looked like a very old chalkboard that you see back in the day when they had those one-room schoolhouses. That's just what it reminded me of. Looks like I got a little carried away with the paint, so I'm going to try to get some of this back in the bottle. I'm just scooping it up on my brush and then putting it back. And then I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. And you can get this paint at Hobby Lobby, probably Walmart too, I'm not sure. I think my daughter gave me this. Okay, so it looks like I got the majority of the piles of it off. So this is just a 2 setting heat gun. It's from Drill Master. Got it from, oh my gosh, why can't I ever remember the name of that place? Anyway, it was my husband's and I kind of stole it. So I'm just using the lowest setting. It gets pretty hot. I'm not gonna, well, I might do around the edges, I'm not sure yet. If I do, I'll do it in black. Oh, the heat gun came from Harbor Freight. It's not quite dry on the edge here. This one spot that I must have put a lot of paint on right here. Seems like all the rest of it is dry. Okay, so I'm just going to move this onto this right here. So I'll have a little bit more space and it won't get on my table. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this brush off a little bit. I don't care if it has some white paint on it. And then I'm going to go over this white here with a black. And I just have this Anita's all-purpose acrylic craft paint, and it's in black. I got it at Hobby Lobby when it was on sale. So I'm going to try not to put so much paint on this as I did the white. Got a little carried away. And then with the black here, I'm going to go around the outside edges. And I think I'll do that after I dry the front of the board. That way I'm not getting so much paint on my fingers. So I did one coat of the white, and I'm just doing one coat of the black. And I don't care if I see the white in it, because it's kind of what I want it to look like. Like I said, it'll look like an old chalkboard back in the day, back before my time. Okay, so I'm going to dry this, and then I'll go around the edges with the black. So this is just a cutout of the United States I've gotten at Hobby Lobby when the 4th of July items were 80% off. Okay, it's mostly dry except for a couple little areas, but I'm hoping they'll get dry by the time I finish going around the edges. So I'm just putting the black paint only around the edges of my cutout. I think what I'll do is I'll just get a little bit in the lid and use that. So I don't know about you guys, but I've pretty much been crafting my whole life. If we didn't have something that I wanted, I would just try to make it myself. And when we were kids growing up, me and my sister, we wanted a Barbie doll house. Of course, there was no way we were going to get that, but in one of Mom's books, and it was like, I don't know. Anyway, she had one of those women book magazine subscriptions, and in one of them it told you how to make a cardboard Barbie doll house. So that's what we did, and then we decorated it and made the furniture. And I think the most fun we had was, instead of playing with it, was actually making it. I mean, we had windows and curtains. It was just, you know, it was a fun time. I think nowadays with, you know, people being able to buy everything, people don't make as many things as they used to. I mean, I could be wrong. But we as kids, we had to make do. And I'm sure me and my sister worked on that thing for probably months. But you know what? It was something I'll never forget. Okay, let me get a little bit more black here. We're getting there. I say we're about halfway around, or maybe a little more. see, just have this last little bit right here. And then I'm just going to take my heat gun to the top of this again, make sure it's all dry. I don't really care about the edges too much. Just going to get the clumps off around here. Okay, so I'm done with the black paint. I'm done with the white paint. I'm just going to get my heat gun, make sure everything's dry. See a spot in this. There. Okay, there we go. We got it. And I normally use the lower setting on the heat gun because it does get pretty hot. So we're just going to take our sanding block, and this is the medium to coarse sanding block from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start with the less coarse side, the medium side. See how this is doing? That just reminds me so much of those old chalkboards. You would go to write on them and you could barely see the chalk. And you could do this with any color paint. You paint one color and then put another color on top of it, and then use your sanding block on it. I think it just gives it a rustic look. It's been well used. Okay, so this is what we have, and that's the look I was going for. So now I'm just going to wipe it down, and I'm going to use, then I'll use our stencil. And for the stencils and the chalk paste, I did put links in the description. And if you do decide to order, please order from my links. That way I get a little percentage, and you know, whatever money I make on it, then I can order more stencils and paste and show you all more crafts. Okay, so I'm just going to take this old nasty rag, and I'm going to wipe the dust off of here. Now you can kind of see some of the red on the edges, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so now we're ready for our stencil. And I've never used a stencil before, and it's going on this wood here. So I want to make sure I fuzz it. And we're going to use this part first. And I just have, they do have a fuzzing pad at Magnolia. I don't have one yet. The next time I do order, I'm going to order one. So I just have this pad from the Dollar Tree. And it's just one that you set your dishes on to dry. get some of this stuff out of my way. So I'm just going to fuzz it probably 4 or 5 times. They are pretty sticky. They're reusable. What is this? I already have something on here. Maybe it's on the top. Don't know. Hope it does not interfere with my stenciling. So these, the part here is like a screen, and your ink or your paste goes through the screen onto your board. And if you take good care of your stencils, you can use them over and over and over. And you know, they're well worth the money. Because let me just say, it all looks pretty good. It looks like the stuff you buy at Hobby Lobby when they first get it in. I had tried stencils before when, you know, they were the plastic ones, and I just couldn't do very well with those. But these, I think anybody could use these. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'll be able to put it on my project. Okay, so I'm just laying it down, smoothing it out, so there's no bubbles. Everything looks good. And then I have my squeegee here. Now this is a cut apart squeegee. It had a piece over here, and I cut it off, and I use that piece for smaller stencils and this piece for the larger stencils. And we're using the Brilliant White chalk paste. I did put a link to the chalk pastes in the description, and I'm just going to get some on my squeegee here, like this. And you want it to look about like cream cheese. Not cream cheese, sour cream. Sour cream. I don't know why sometimes these words come out of my mouth that I don't even mean to say. Anyway. Sour cream. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just spreading it on there. Have the M and the E done, and now for the H. And you only need to get it on the part of the screen that's the stenciling part. You don't need to get it all over the green part. And as you can see, I did not add any extra chalk paste to my squeegee after I got started, and I still have some on there. So it doesn't take a whole lot, and that really makes this cost effective. You know what, I probably need to put a squirt of distilled water in this just to keep it nice and creamy. So I'm going to do that before I put the lid on. Now when you remove your stencil from your project, you want to start it at the corner, but you don't want to take it off at the corner. You want to take it off towards the middle so that you're not stretching out your stencil. And as you can see, it's taking up some of the black paint here, which is fine with me. I just think it makes it look even more the way I wanted it to look. Now I'm going to put this face down in some water that I have. Now if you were doing this at home, you would want to take this directly to your kitchen sink. You would want to use the stencil cleaner sponge and use your sprayer and just spray and scrape it off. So we need to dry this before we put this one on. And I'm going to cut this a little bit because I don't want all this sticky stuff on here. Because I really don't want it getting on my the other stencil that I've already done. Now you do want to leave some green on here because if you don't, then you're going to be getting chalk paste on your project board. So I'm just low setting. I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. The chalk paste does dry pretty quickly. The inks take a little bit longer. It seems to be dry. And then too, you know, I kind of want this. This is what it looks like so far. But do you see how much more of this white is showing through here and not so much here? That's when I was putting my stencil on. I'm going to see if I can use these pieces that I pulled off, that I cut off, to pull up some more of this. Yeah, it's doing it somewhat. Maybe not as much as I would like it to, but there we go. Try to be careful not to put it on what I've already stenciled. Ooh, that one worked really well. Yeah, let's try this right here. See what happens. Yeah, well, just an idea I just had when I did this. So we're going to do the star, the welcome for the O, and we'll have to fuzz this several times. You see how sticky that is? These things are really sticky. And once you wash your stencils, you want to set them so the sticky side is up, like on your counter or something, to dry. And then once they're dry, you want to put them back on their backing. This is really sticky. Okay, I think that's good right there. And we want to make sure our welcome is at the top so we can read it. And I'm going to try not to press down so much on the green portion of the stencil around the outside, so that it's not getting on the letters that I've already done. I think I have that up a little high. Just bring it down a little bit. Okay, I think that looks good right there. So I'm just leaving it loose around the corner, around the edges here, because I don't want it to get on my other letters, just in case it's going to try to pull it up. So let me get out my white again. And I should have sprayed it after I was totally done, but I wasn't thinking clearly. But that's okay, because it's still working really well. just want to make sure that you get all the screened portions covered. And then put your excess back into your pot. I'm going to go over this one right here just a little bit more. Okay. I think that looks good. So let's take this off. And there we go. Wow. I like it. What do you guys think? I'm gonna hang that on my wall. Okay, so now we want to put our string back on. You know what? Let me dry this welcome part first so that I don't mess it up. Okay, so like I said, I like to have my knots in the front, and I'm just going to put a little hot glue on the ends of this just so that I could put it together and get it through the hole a lot easier than having to mess around with it. This is a lot easier. You can use tape to do this too, but I just find that the hot glue is easier, quicker. So there I have my knot, and then I'm going to add just a couple of these raw beads to it. These are just beads that I got from Hobby Lobby. Not sure what size they are, but they're pretty big. I want to say they're probably 20 millimeter or more, maybe 25. And then I'm just going to tie this end in a knot. And then I'll trim off that end where the glue was, and I got paint on it too, probably from the hole. So I'm just going to trim that up. Pull that through, put the bead down, and this is our finished project. So I just thought this looked like, you know, a chalkboard, like back in those one-room school buildings from way back when, in the Wild West days. And then we put our home on there with our welcome star. Oh, alrighty, and tomorrow I'll be back here with another craft, and I just wanted to show you what we're going to use in case you wanted to go pick up one of these. So I just picked up a couple of these from the Dollar Tree. It says it's a chopper or a scraper, and I thought it would be cool to put stencil on this side, put a ribbon or ribbons or whatever, some type of hanger, and put beads on it and then hang it up. So if you want to pick one or two of these up, this is going to be our project for tomorrow. So until then, keep crafting. Bye.